Hey everyone, welcome to Through the Cowl. I'm Clinton,
And I'm Debbie.
and here we are back again, trying to entertain you guys as much as we can, but mostly to entertain ourselves.
Yeah, it's a selfish podcast, quite frankly.
All right, let's jump into the meat and potatoes like we've been doing for the last few episodes. We're going to jump into our top three of a certain actor or actress. So I spoke to a friend this week, asked them to give me
Or they remain nameless.
yeah. I'll ask them next time if they want to be this person if they want to be mentioned. I don't know,
Okay, just in case.
just in case. So they gave me an actress this time because we've had all actors before. Or do we call them all actors now?
I'm not sure if because it's called the Actors Guild, isn't it? The
Yeah.
thing that they're a part of.
All right. So for
It's then actors and
political
actresses.
correctness, we'll go with actors or an actor.
Yeah.
And it's
Someone who acts.
someone who acts. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this week's pick is Melissa McCarthy.
Yes.
And she is one of my favorites.
She is hilarious. Like
Yeah,
literally hilarious. I love her.
yeah. Unconventionally, like you wouldn't think that she'd be in like I would say like my top picks of people, but to me, she is so funny. The roles that she takes on can sometimes be like sort of sometimes a little typecast for her, but she makes it work, and she always brings. I think I can't think of a film that she makes where it doesn't actually give me at least a couple belly laughs.
Her timing is and her facial expressions, her just everything about her. I was going to say mannerisms, but she just plays the roles brilliantly. And I know she's done a couple that are a little bit more serious,
Yeah,
more recently in her career.
yeah,
But I love her for how absolutely goddamn hilarious she is.
yeah. And she's like, I feel like she's unapologetically herself.
Yeah, she's yes, I think, and especially when you know that she's married to the guy from Bridesmaids.
Oh yeah, the guy who's in all her films.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Ben Falcone.
But I love that.
Yeah,
Love
and
that they're
it just shows
together.
up. It's kind of like she has that same thing with like how Adam Sandler has it with his friend and Happy Madison. A lot of her films have the same people in as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So without further ado, let's actually get
Yeah.
into.
Sorry, yeah, let's pick some.
So let's start with our top three. So we'll start with. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
Is it me that goes first because it was your pick?
Yeah, you go first. You go first. What's your number three?
My number three is Identity Thief.
Okay. All right.
Now, not only do I love Melissa McCarthy, I also love Jason Bateman.
Yeah,
Like, there's no
they
getting
are
around it.
an absolute team.
He is so good. And I kind of love how pissed off he looks a lot
Yeah.
of the time. And just how irritated
Yeah.
and like life gets to him. And oh, it's such a cute. I love how sweet it is.
Yeah, he
Um,
plays that straight-faced character, but his humor is almost he has that sort of dry humor, but it works perfectly.
yeah. Ozark, obviously, incredible series. If you haven't done it, do
I've
it. It's
I've done all of those arcs. It's
yeah, yeah, he's awesome. But yes, I love it. I love them together in this. Um, and how she kind of ends up saving him.
yeah.
And I love the little bits like when she's in the kitchen at his house with his wife, and she's like, I just want to let
No.
nothing happened. And the lady was like, okay.
Yeah. And like when she punches him in the throat and then tries to run, and then he's running away, and then she's like, "What the fuck? Are you a Kenyan?" And like she's only done like 30 yards, and she's like,
That would be me. Yeah, love it. Great fun and very
So,
sweet.
because you picked that one, that one is actually my number one. Can I still have that?
Oh, we should have conferred.
Can I still have that? I still have. I think I still have to put it as my number one.
Yes, yeah. You can
All right.
have another honourable mention
I'll
instead.
put an honorable mention in
Yeah.
near close to number one. But yeah, that's my
Oh,
number one. Identity
great.
Thief is for me fantastic.
Brilliant.
All right. So my number three is one of her more serious roles actually.
Ooh.
This one is actually a DC Comics piece. It was a set of actual comic books as well,
Yes.
and it is called The Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, that film was probably one of the first ones I saw her being more sort of serious. But I
Yeah.
liked before I ever knew it was I didn't even know it was a DC project. But
I don't think I did,
yeah,
even
and
until you just said it.
yeah, and then obviously when the opening credits, you sort of see it flash up, and I was like, what the hell? But then also, it's just the fact of the way the film worked out. The three main characters, I can't remember the name of one of them, but I know Tiffany Haddish is in it as well.
Yeah.
They have these husbands that go to jail, and it's set in like a time where New York is such a rough, diverse but not diverse sort of place. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of it's a big melting pot of people who get on for business but don't actually want to get on in general. So you've got like the Irish mob, you've got the black gangsters, you've got the Italian gangsters, all mixed into this
Mm-hmm.
melting pot, and it's like tempers are often frayed and a lot of violence. And the film worked out for me really well. And having it's very difficult because I was looking at things recently when it talks about how they say a lot of female-led films flop because men don't go and watch them. And
Ooh.
yeah, and to me, I think that's a really bad, terrible argument. It's like even they say like female sports fail because men don't watch women's sports. I know this can be a touchy subject, but like sometimes it just like unlike with sport, it's the level of competition. If it was a very high level of competition that interested men, like when they're watching male sports, men will go and watch it and put their money into it.
Yeah.
Also, with women's sports, women don't watch these sports. So really, if
Yeah.
you want,
And I
if
never
you,
thought there was like a disparity
yeah,
between the numbers of men and women watching movies. I always thought that was really 50-50. Like we
yeah,
all know that a majority of men watched football for many years,
yeah,
Formula One, many years. Tennis probably a bit more 50-50. Snooker, certainly,
yeah,
again, I love it, but
yeah,
it's quite male dominated in terms of spectating. But yeah, movies, I never really thought
yeah.
that was, yeah.
Over the last few years, I've seen the conversation come up where a lot of a lot of female heroine stories are like not getting the same box office numbers, potentially not getting the same amount of money in advertising, even though I think some films do get a hell of a lot of advertising, and just maybe not getting the reviews afterwards. I watch a lot of movies, and I told you it's nothing for me if the main character's a woman or not. Is the story good? Is it engaging?
Is the character itself good, be it man or woman,
Yeah, because there's plenty of films I've watched with men who are the main characters, and they're terrible.
Yes.
And they would get this, or tar them with that same brush if they're bad. So like a film like The Kitchen, super like well written. The actresses are and actors are like top of their game in this. Like you really get the feels, and it really takes you into Hell's Kitchen, New York,
Mm.
and makes you and makes you take, like I said, takes you into that time period of what must have been like. Because people at that age would be like our grandparents.
Yes.
That would have been like our grandparents in their like mid 30s, mid 30s, 40s, maybe early 50s sort of thing.
Mm.
And I like films and I like characters that or like writing that takes you into that time period.
Yeah.
And these girls were strong, they were badass, they had stories like there was the domestic violence story within it, and how this lady overcame it by just becoming like a badass. But it wasn't forced down your throat like that Jennifer Lopez film where she just goes and does a bit of Ty Bone and learns how to beat up her husband. This was more like
Are you dissing my J-Lo?
I
I love J-Lo.
know. But like this, the way it was done in the kitchen was super well structured. You saw the
Yeah.
woman's breaking point and how she handled it. So if more films just had better stories throughout,
Yeah.
I think you could if they did a second one of this, like you can bank on it being good.
Yeah.
So for me, number 3 is The Kitchen.
Okay. I'm going to bring it back to some comedy
Yeah,
because
okay,
it is
okay.
minutes we're talking about.
I hope you're not stealing another one, mine, but okay, let's go.
I know I probably will because this is such a funny film.
Yeah.
This film is called Spy.
Yes.
Have we jointed at number 2?
We're not joking at number 2. That one didn't make it into my top 3.
Okay, okay.
It was there.
No, I'm
It's
joking, I'm
so good.
joking.
So funny.
Funny. Love Jason Statham for
Yeah.
starters. Love her. Love Jude Law, even though he's a bit of a
Yeah.
minute. Can't remember the name of the other lady, but she is also funny.
Oh, the really tall lady who played oh, I can't remember the name of her character.
Why am I so rubbish with names when I'm on this podcast? I literally never remember anything.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
sister will be shouting it at the
Yeah.
screen.
You know what? It's my pod. It's our podcast. Let's look it
Rose
up.
Byrne? Is it Rose Byrne?
The really tall lady.
Yeah, Rose Byrne, Rose
Yeah.
Byrne. Love her.
What was
She
her
is.
name? Miranda, wasn't it?
And yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's done a load of funny stuff with Seth, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good with him. So yeah, Spy is brilliant.
All her chemistry.
Again, how it's just great. She's an actor playing a character, then having to play another character.
Yeah.
And I just love when she's being the bodyguard of Rose's character.
Yeah.
She's just impeccable.
Yeah.
And she's obviously quite short,
Yeah.
but she just has this massive, larger than life personality, and she just turns her hand to everything.
Yeah. And like the chemistry between her and Jason Statham in it, especially the parts when they're like arguing and he's talking about all the things that he's done that are so far-fetched.
Yes, yeah. But he says it so serious,
Yeah.
so deadpan.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that he can play those roles and take the mick out of himself
Yeah.
as well. So yeah.
Spy
Love
definitely a good one. And I'm glad you put that one up there. All right. My number 2. This could have easily been my number 1 as well. It was just a toss-up between the two. So I don't know whether now I should I don't know, because of what we've done and you've taken my number 1. I don't know if I should change it around a bit. But should I change it? Should I change it? Yeah, I'm gonna change it. Because you've taken your number 3 was my number 1. So
you're gonna take mine, aren't you, on purpose?
Oh God, I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna say this one's number 2 because you might take it again. So my number 2 is The Heat.
No, okay, you're good. You're good.
All right. The Heat with Sandra Bullock.
Love Sandra as well.
Them two together is just like a match made in heaven. Like Sandra's like plays that straight sort of deadpan character who's just like by the book.
Almost like the older sister.
Yeah.
I always kind of had that sort of older sister, younger sister vibe.
Yeah. And then you've just got this wild card who does everything to like screw up, and like when she's fighting with her boss and then it's so funny. Yeah, so definitely The Heat. They're just them two. I wish they could work together more because they work together so well.
I'm surprised they have. I mean, maybe they have done something else and I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But they did have really good chemistry, and I love Sandra Bullock as well. Being serious or when she's kind of a bit more comedy acting.
Like I've loved Sandra Bullock from like the days of like Miss Congeniality,
Mm,
those sort of films. Like she just plays those sort of midway rom-com characters fantastically.
she does.
You
Yeah,
know,
she's great. Maybe
yeah,
we can have her one time.
yeah,
The top.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, maybe not the way I'd have her, but you know.
Right, my
Oh,
number one.
yeah.
My number one is, and I'd already mentioned it when we were talking about her earlier, but it has to be Bridesmaids. It has to be Bridesmaids.
Oh, I
It
get,
is brilliant.
I get it. I wasn't. You finished.
I know she's not the main character,
Yeah,
I get that,
yeah,
but I love her so much in it with how she dresses, how
yeah,
she gets the lady, like she totally understands her, even though people think like she's, not
yeah,
taking stuff in, how she steals all the puppies and how she's with her guy at the
yeah,
end.
yeah. No,
Genius.
yeah. The Bridesmaids for me, it wasn't one of my faves. Her bit in it was great though.
I appreciate it's a bit of
It's
it's a
like
bit of
her in that, and also her in Ghostbusters. She made
yes, yeah.
she made those movies.
I just love her in it. I love that she's like just just everything
Yeah.
that she does and says.
The
Her
scene,
leg up and
yeah.
just
The scene where like they're about to shit themselves, and she's just like,
on the plane. She's so fucking funny. I love
yeah. No, that's you know, I can see the point, like, because for the right people, bridesmaids. Some people love bridesmaids,
it. Yeah,
and there are a lot of funny parts in it. So yeah, I can see that for a lot of people.
it's brilliant.
Yeah,
What about you?
for me, number one. So I had some honorable mentions, which would be the Happy Time Murders. I don't know if you've seen that one. Where
Mm,
she's in it. She's a detective, and she has a partner. It's like sort of Muppets.
oh yes. I was gonna say, is it like was it a cartoon or
Yeah,
something when you
yeah.
said the
So it's
title?
like they have Muppets who are like real life characters, and then obviously the humans, and then they have like the integration between the two worlds.
Yeah,
So I'd say that's an
it's
honorable
different,
mention.
bit different.
Yeah, I'd say that one's up there. Also, I did like her film Super Intelligence with
Yes.
James Corden as the AI sort of thing, like that, which was quite cool. Um, New number one. I'm gonna have to pick something that's right up there. I think I'm gonna go with Tammy.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Good
think
old
I'm.
Tammy. You chuckling away thinking about it.
I know she's because she's having such a rough time and oh my god. Like I said, there's too many of her films which are like hilarious. So
Thank you, Melissa, for everything that you've done. Big
yeah,
fans.
yeah. All right. So what have you been watching this week?
Ooh, so I have been watching, and I wrote it down because I knew I'd forget. I finished off The Gentleman, the
Okay.
series.
I'm
Loved it.
I'm
Absolutely brilliant.
I'm halfway through episode 6.
Okay. Oh, the final episode is fantastic. Is brilliant. I
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm sure you're enjoying it if you've
I am
up
enjoying it.
picked
Like
it. Yeah, it was good fun.
obviously everyone said to me how fantastic it is. So I didn't want to go in there with preconceptions of people telling me if something's amazing. Like you have to find it amazing.
Yeah,
But with Guy Ritchie, it is you could definitely tell it's a Guy Ritchie film
definitely.
project. And obviously I love the Gentleman movie a lot.
Yep.
So again, the preconception of people telling me how good the TV show is, and then me, how much I enjoyed the movie,
Yeah.
it was taking me in with certain expectations. So, but
Especially when the actors weren't the same.
yeah,
Actually, two of the actors in there. So the main lady and the main guy.
yeah,
I don't normally like them,
yeah,
I'm just not a big fan of either of them when they act like.
Yeah, yeah,
And in this, I really liked both of them. So I
yeah,
was like, wow, there has to be doing something right if I like both of the characters and how
yeah,
they're acting those characters. So yeah, I thought it was great fun, really good, crazy action, lots of backstabbing, lots of,
yeah.
deal
And
doing.
I like the way how it's very, for me, I find it very slick, very clever, very more, a lot more like, obviously there's moments where things are done in the nick of time, or something's like believed when they're like, would that happen? You always compare it as like, could I get away with that in real life?
You couldn't get away with any of that in real life.
Yeah.
Don't try it. But
I
they
don't
had
know.
to, you had to know who the players were, what they wanted, why they wanted it,
Yeah,
background, who's higher than who's
yeah,
going to take who out. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched Power, the
yeah,
series, and
yeah,
I love that series so much.
yeah.
Not just because of the lead guy.
Of course, of course.
Um, so, but how, and obviously I'm not saying that, he should have got away with everything, but how he has to know, especially in the deepest, darkest depths of everybody that's coming for him, everybody that wants a piece of him,
Yeah,
the FBI or the police or whoever, and he has to be a step ahead.
yeah,
I think it reminds me a little bit of that, because obviously the main guy had to know how to play everybody.
yeah. So, and like for
Yeah,
me,
really enjoying that.
yeah, I find watching it because I have a lot of clients who are kind of from that world. For some reason, I just picture
So
them.
far away from my world.
I sort of like I have a few clients who have those big country manners, and I have one or two who are like lords and so on.
Very cool.
And it's like I feel they could get away with stuff like this.
Yeah, people with the land, I think
Yeah,
they probably, get a little bit
I
overlooked
was thinking like
but
there's no reason for the police to ever just sort of like rock up to their door for any reason, or they're the lord of the village, and it's like no one's gonna like bat an eyelid of what's going on up there.
no.
And their properties are so vast, it takes you 20 minutes to get up the driveway.
Yeah, you could be gone by the time
Exactly.
someone's coming up it.
Yeah. Someone sets off the alarm and you're like, all right, cool, let's go, jump in a helicopter, let's go.
I'd be interested to see how much you enjoyed the last episode when you get to it, but I
Yeah.
really liked it.
Yeah. So I'm close. I have been binging. I think I started watching it yesterday. I'm already through halfway through episode 6. So
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice.
I'm doing pretty well.
I also watched, so I've got 3 other things to tell you about.
Yeah.
I also watched The Gone, which I said I was going to watch, which was one of my sister's recommendations.
Yeah.
Really good detective series about 2 Irish tourists who go missing in New Zealand. So the Irish cop comes over to New Zealand. Something similar happened like 15 years ago, and the mother of the daughter is a judge, and she put this big kingpin person away, and so
Yeah.
obviously they're like, was it him, was it not, what's happening? Yeah, I really enjoyed that as well. I think it was only about 8 episodes, again maybe 6 or 8.
Okay.
I just finished that before I came upstairs to do this, and there was a cliffhanger ending, so I'm hoping there is going to be a second series at some point.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I told you last week, like a cliffhanger really works sometimes.
I know. Again, because it's one of the ones where you're assuming something's happened based on it, but actually it could have gone the other way because you weren't shown anything that confirmed or denied it.
Yeah. And then also nothing worse than when you are left on a cliffhanger and then a show doesn't get renewed for another season.
Yeah, that is
That
annoying.
that
Yeah, they
that
should
makes me
almost be allowed to do one episode and round it out for us, and then don't do the next season.
yeah, because that makes me want to write it.
Yeah,
So
that is
that happened on the TV show of Constantine. I absolutely
yeah,
loved
I did watch
the
some of
first
that.
season of that,
Hmm.
and then it just ended, and that was nothing else. It happened with was it Swamp Thing?
Okay.
Small Things, which is a DC project, another DC project. Excellent first season. It's on Prime
Oh,
if you want to watch it. So intense, and then no next season. And
must
then there
not
was,
have
and
the numbers.
I'm trying to think of another show. There was another show with that guy from Hollyoaks, Ricky Little, and the guy, what's his name? He is in John Wick. He plays the owner of the Continental. His name is
Oh, the guy who died. Oh no, not the guy who died. Sorry, go
no
on.
no no.
I know who you mean. I know who you mean. Why can't we think of his name?
What is his name?
Look it up quickly. We're gonna kick ourselves.
I know.
It's quite an interesting name as well, I'm sure.
His name is Ian McShane.
There you go. So simple.
Yeah, and he plays Winston. Why can't I remember? Why can't I remember that?
Dude, same. I literally go mind, but it's like it's like we're being tested. And
Yeah.
so my mind goes blank and I suddenly can't remember any actor ever.
Yeah, so that series he had with Ricky Little was called American Gods. And I really
Yeah,
like
that was good. That
I
was
really
really
liked
good.
American Gods. And then the end of the last episode, sorry for anyone, the Ricky Little character, Ricky, I think it's Ricky Little. Yeah, his character, no, Ricky Whittle. Yeah, his character, is about to ascend, and then that's it. There's nothing else. It just stopped.
I know. And sometimes I don't mind being left to decide for myself, but other times,
What happened?
no.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want a conclusion, even if it's not the one that I end up liking.
yeah. Just give us like one episode that
Closure.
that closes it off. Yeah,
We can move on.
yeah.
Okay. So the last thing, so one more TV and then one movie.
Okay.
So my sister recommended a lovely 90-minute movie to me. So I like a little 90-minute every so often. I don't need the 2.5 hour,
Yeah,
mega movies that we get these days.
yeah.
And it's called Sisu. So Sisu.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's so good. Here's the guy who is Finnish. He was a Finnish general, and this is when I'm assuming World War II. I'm really sorry if that's
Yeah,
wrong. Everybody was going for Russia and
yeah,
Germany.
yeah,
And he had just had enough of the destruction and the death and the killing. And it was near the end of it all, and he went to live out in like the fields in the middle of nowhere, all on his own, right? Left everybody to the fighting because he'd done all of his stuff.
yeah,
There's hardly any dialogue in this film at all. It's brilliant. And so it's him, his horse, and his little doggy. And he kind of does a little bit of digging. There's a
yeah,
little stream, and he does the little gold thingy, and he sees a tiny little bit of gold. So he then starts digging. There's another year gone by, and
yeah.
he suddenly finds this massive piece of gold. And so he's like, thank God, this is it.
Yeah,
This is my life now. I can go
yeah,
bank that and go and live a life somewhere nice. So, and he's all dirty. He's pretty old. And so he breaks all the gold up, puts it in his sack, and he's just,
yeah,
trotting along on his horse. And you see some German vehicles, Nazi vehicles, like coming his way. So they're obviously leaving where the fighting is because they fucking burn everything, right? Everything has been destroyed.
yeah,
And you're like, oh no. First of all, I was like, oh no, the dog's gonna die. And then I reminded myself that my sister would never let me watch something where the
yeah,
dog died.
yeah,
And so I was like, no, it's fine, the dog's fine. Anyway, they look at him and they kind of get ready. One of them gets ready to like take him out, and then the major general guy's just watches him. And they've obviously got a group of girls with them as well, like that they've stolen as
Okay.
like and they are being gross to them. You don't see it, but it is obviously implied.
Yeah,
And they let him walk past, and then the major guy was like, he's going to his death anyway. He's basically walking to his death. Let him go.
yeah,
And so then he gets to the next lot, and there's fewer of them, but they are literally like pointing the gun at him like immediately, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh God, he's going to die, even though we're like 10 minutes into the movie. I don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
But he is like an 80-year-old John. He's not 80.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a 60-year-old weathered
Yeah.
John Wick, right? Because he is also a legend in Finland. Like he's
Okay.
an absolute legend.
Yeah.
And they call it in because they hear all the gunfire. So the original Nazis are like,
Yeah.
oh, they've got him. It's fine. They've killed him. That's fine.
Yeah.
And because they see when they do shoot up at him, they see his gold fall out of his bag.
Yeah.
So the other guys come back because they're like, hang on a minute, that's a lot of shooting happening. Like, how haven't they got him already?
Yeah.
And it's he got them.
Yeah. For some
Seriously,
reason, I love a film where an older guy just like you just don't know what he's about, and then you find out he's a complete and utter badass. It's
absolute bad, known throughout like the Finnish army, even the Nazi general guy that they like get in touch with in the tank. That person was the guy in charge. Is like, do not connect with him. You must leave. Turn around. Go back. Like, go. Leave him. You don't know who he is.
Yeah.
And then obviously this guy's all like cocky and like he can take him, even though hundreds of people haven't been able to.
Yeah.
So it's basically his story of him with his gold and his dog. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Very graphically violent.
Yeah.
Like stuff happens. But the fact that there's maybe like 200 words said in the whole film, and I was literally just like engrossed the whole time.
Yeah. Is it subtitles or
no? There's literally it's just because it's just them acting. Like, it's so good.
Is it like sort of like gritty, sort of really dark, like darkly shot?
Oh, you're right. There are subtitles when they're speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he is amazing, and what he does for some other people is amazing. And how he does it all on his own, and what his legendary name is, and I won't say what it is because it's kind of how he is. Yeah, really good. Go and watch it.
So this is Sisu, yeah?
Sisu, yeah.
Right, I'm gonna watch that.
You will love it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm well hoggy tonight. And then I went to the cinema on Sunday and I watched Ghostbusters.
Amazing. I forgot that. Oh, I didn't forget that's out. I knew it was out, so I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Frozen something.
Yeah.
Very good fun. Really enjoyed it.
Obviously, a few of the actors from the last one, and obviously Paul Rudd's back in it again.
You've got all of the actors from the original one, other than Spengler, obviously, because he's passed away. But yeah, lovely. And they're in it just the perfect amount and in their same kind of little roles. Yeah. And then you got the little Stay Puft Marshmallow dudes, my literal favourite ever.
Remember the movie before when they were all in the shop and then they just start melting themselves onto like
they are still crackers. Just as like one puts his little arm in the pencil sharpener and just stares at you while he's doing it.
No, I'm definitely watching that at least over the next few days.
Really enjoyed it. Yeah,
so Ghostbusters on the list. I want to go see Kong and Godzilla.
Yes. Did you manage to see any of the stuff in London? I didn't know if you were near any of it.
Well, I was going to go yesterday before I came back, or Wednesday night, but it was starting pouring down with rain, and I was on the motorbike, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going Tower Park, right?
That's what we're dying for.
Tower of London right now.
Yeah, I love how London do that though, like how they get so into the big blockbusters.
Yeah, it's definitely the right weather to go and see it, but I was like, I was drenched. I was like, nah. It's gonna have to be another time.
Yeah.
And I could have gone during the day, but I don't think it would have had the same effect. Especially as they
I think with the lights and stuff, it needs to be at night time,
So other than that, this week I've been watching The Gentleman and just obviously binging. I'm really getting into Rick and Morty. Like, I don't keep saying it now for the last few episodes.
You in.
I'm getting there. Like even like before bed, I'm like, let me just get an episode of.
Oh, I'll just
It's just another episode.
I love a little 22 minute you know.
And it's just so each episode is just so random and like just little things like the one I watched last night was they went to this place where you can't be killed, and obviously you didn't know it at first, and it just starts off hilarious. Where this guy throws a spear through Rick's chest, and then Rick stabs him in the neck with a glass, and it's like he actually takes the dad on a day trip out with him,
Mm.
and he starts freaking out in front of him, and then they just come back to life again, and they tell him, "Oh yeah, you can't die here."
Oh my God, do they just try and do loads of crazy stuff
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
know they're going to work? Yeah.
This whole place, and it's got two like kids running around, just shooting each other in the head. Like, because this thing obviously come back to life, and they're like, oh, having a great time, and then near the end, something happens where they bust the mechanism that does that, and
Oh no.
yeah, so
Oh, and does
yeah,
it end badly for one of the kids?
it ends bad for one of the kids. Yeah,
No. That's where the adult part of Rick and Morty comes
yeah.
into play.
And there was another episode I saw where Rick gets turned into a cucumber.
Yeah, I've seen that. Cucumber
Oh,
Rick.
cucumber Rick
I
had
think you can
me
get merchandise of Cucumber Rick.
on the floor. Like the part where he's in the sewer and he brutalizes all the rats was just insane to me.
I've definitely heard of Cucumber Rick.
There's certain things that can only be animation, and they could not make that live action, especially if they took that episode and put it out there. You know, it was just
It would
not.
not work.
It was just nutsos. Doesn't make you think like I would love to be that smart.
Yeah,
But then I
yeah.
don't know.
Crazy scientist.
I don't know because obviously he seems like it causes him a lot of pain as well to be.
Nuts, yeah. And I wouldn't want to sick up on myself like every 2 days. That would be
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, like being that smart and knowing that much about the universe, like it looks like it causes him a lot of pain.
Yeah. It's a lot for a little brain to take, isn't it?
Yeah,
One person to take.
yeah. Other than that, what have I been up to? I- I've been going down some crazy rabbit holes
On YouTube?
on YouTube and like just sometimes TikTok as well. So I don't know where you sort of stand on like sort of religion and stuff, but
Nowhere.
yeah, but it's like
It can be quite evil and quite, encompassing for some
yeah,
people. It causes a lot of death in the world, but
yeah, and it's sort of like with me, like obviously I grew
each
up,
to their own,
yeah,
as long as you don't do anything bad to other people.
yeah, like obviously I grew up like my parents were super religious and stuff like that, and up until about 17, after about 17, I used to go to the church like reasonably regularly.
Oh
But
wow.
it wasn't like for me, even from a young age, I did question a lot of things. So it's something that my parents did, they took us to church all the time. So it's like I couldn't really get out of it until I was like
Mm.
17, like, and I was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I've got a job. I've got stuff to do. Or I'm too hungover to go on Sunday, get up on Sunday morning and get away with it. But yeah, what I was going down this rabbit hole was I was just kept thinking about being the first person to do things. So obviously there's like because when you think about the first person to do things, then it's like it takes you back to like, was it the Big Bang? Was it potentially, a higher power creating the world in those 7 days sort of thing? So when I was thinking the first, it started off really weird because I was like, being the first person to just even this conversation probably been had by many people, but imagine being the first person on earth or but group of people and the first time you fall asleep. Like you don't know what is happening to you. You're like all of
It
a
feels
sudden,
good. It feels
all of a
good.
sudden you've been running around, like escaping possibly dangerous animals, and your body becomes so fatigued that you're like, I need to sit down. You're like, what is going on? I can't run anymore.
But then even the word sit down, was that even a thing back then?
Yeah,
Because then you've got the whole language thing. Like, who even made up the words that we use today?
yeah. So it's like, so you just end up like, oh, my legs feel weary. What position will be better for me to be in so that my legs rest? And then all of a sudden your eyes start going, and you're like, what is happening to me?
And
And
how did, yeah.
then you're like the first person to like fall asleep. You must have thought you're dying.
And what if someone else saw them and was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, what are they doing? It's like because you just get to a point where it's like, what information is being passed down? Like, is it always like someone else is a witness to something else happened to someone else? And then it's like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna do what they did.
Yeah, because I see it the most, I think, because you see it so much quicker in animals, right? If
Yeah,
you've ever watched like, I don't know, Orangutan Jungle School or
yeah,
any little birds,
yeah,
anything where you're watching the young copy what the parents do, or the,
yeah,
the mother animal, because it's usually kind of how it goes. And they literally watching, copying, doing it. There's no words there. Like, we often
yeah,
tell people how to do things, don't they? And that's why I love like the animal world, because I know they can make noises and stuff,
yeah.
but really they just learn from
What
following.
I'm following. So that's why I
Yeah.
thought, the first person who decided to eat like a certain plant was a spectator, like, oh, that person ate that plant. Looks interesting. How do they know I'm gonna wait a couple hours to see what happens to him first? Because he might have eaten something poisonous. All of a sudden the guy starts like puking and like shitting himself. And you're like, oh, I don't want that to happen to me. So it's like, where did that information come from? Like, how did who was this?
Yeah, I know.
Was the 10th person always the
And
spectator?
you can and you can understand hunger, right?
Yeah,
So that's like that's like not carnal, that's like it's a inane thing within us. If we're hungry, we look for something to eat or something to drink. And so I feel like that must have been a natural thing.
yeah. So that must have
If
been
you were
the thing. But
thinking
imagine,
about if you were thinking about procreation,
yeah,
how would anybody have known? There are lots of things, there are lots of places, and we won't go
yeah,
into it because
yeah. Of course,
there are lots of places where things could go
yeah,
that would mean nothing would happen other than niceness.
exactly.
And so, like, how long did it take them to work that out?
To figure it out, yeah. And like, how do they know? Obviously, the conversation nowadays is like, anyone could be with anyone, but it's like at that point, they're like, oh,
Was there like some animal attraction, like gene attraction to,
yeah, exactly.
some type of, what do they call it? Uh,
Um, the
Pheromones?
pheromones, whatever, was it like mating season at some point? And
Yeah,
it
because
became more,
animals have that.
yeah, or did it
I
become
mean,
like, but
technically women ovulate, but do
yeah,
we
but
smell
well,
different doing that?
but like every month becomes like mating season, like, and it's just
And
like,
why so regularly? Like, come
yeah,
on.
yeah,
How has that not changed in the last God knows how many years?
yeah,
Like, once every 6 months is fine, thank you.
yeah, and it's just like, even that, like the first person to think, did they see an animal doing that and thought, I'm going to try that with someone of my species? Or
Oh, you've definitely rabbit holed. You
that's what
might
I'm
need to.
saying. Like, sometimes I get on TikTok or YouTube, and it's like, but then it's just the fact that when I start thinking about what I've just seen or what I'm watching, then my brain's like, still always makes me wish I could have a time machine that takes me in this invisible ball, takes me to a certain time period, and
Safely,
safely,
safely, quickly.
yeah, and invisible.
Yeah. See
I-
what actually happened and then come back and re-educate us if necessary.
yeah, and this is even more wild. The first woman to I'm guessing you have to get to a certain age so that you can actually get pregnant. But the first woman to say get pregnant. First month, she's like, oh, that thing that normally happens hasn't happened. Next month, that thing that happens still hasn't happened. And then all of a sudden,
I'm really fucking tired.
yeah,
Oh, I don't feel great.
yeah, I'm swelling up a little bit in my hands and feet. I can't run from the T-Rex as quickly as I did before. And then all of a sudden, like the belly starts popping. And she's like, "What is like, what's happening to me?" Like it feels like there had to be this information somewhere that people knew what was going on. Like I can't imagine that everything was just like, this is brand new, trial and error.
No, but it's like, I don't know. Because I always just think cave people.
Yeah,
I always think, but then if you believe evolution rather
yeah,
than the God side of it, that we came from monkeys or
yeah, yeah,
chimpanzees and
yeah, and evolved.
evolved, then at each of those evolutions, they would have had somebody to watch. And as I said, like monkeys learn really quickly from watching people. So,
Yeah.
or
That,
each other, not
yeah,
just
that could
people.
potentially be it, but you know, just randomly, first person to make fire, first person to do like just do things that obviously make life easier.
And it was also, I always think as well, like it was all survival stuff.
That's it.
Because now we do things for fun. I'm like, oh, who did the first like cartwheel like 500 years ago?
Yeah, and why did they do it?
Why did they go, oh, I think I can just
Like they were about to, like I guess there was someone was about to fall over, and all of a sudden they sort of like bounce off their legs, push off their arms, and they're back up again.
It's yeah, it's a little bit mind-blowing when you think of all of the firsts, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
and I don't know if it takes it back to sort of like religion. I don't know because obviously it made me look at like this might sound a bit wild, but I did look at when they say how the earth or how everyone's created. You know, God did this in day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then rested on day 7. And then I was like, you know, that was pretty quick. And then
He was busy.
yeah, and then I watched this thing. This guy was saying like it actually works out as to a god, like a day is actually 1,000 years. So creating each of those parts before like he created people and animals and stuff like that, it was like almost 6,000 years to do that bit, which could make sense. I, I don't know, but
I'm going to leave you to the religion stuff.
it was just an interesting theory that took me down a crazy rabbit hole. And you know, if anyone out there has a take themselves that they want to enlighten me with, go ahead, drop it in the comments. But it was just yeah, a crazy rabbit hole. And I have a friend of mine who's like quite religious, and he seems to think that people are coming back to religion now because things have been so rough out there that people are starting to look for something to believe in. And I don't know, like say like my mum is super religious, and like, my mum has a lot of health issues, and she's had them for like 20 years now, and they just seem to be getting worse. But her faith sort of hasn't withered.
I know, but why would then does she not say, I've been faithful?
Exactly.
Why isn't God fixing me?
That's what's
Like,
always got that's always got me. Like sort it out. Like people who are faithful to you, sort it out.
and
Like
obviously I want her to get better,
yeah,
obviously. And I was only using the example
yeah,
that
yeah.
you gave.
Of course,
But
yeah, yeah,
and I know obviously Ricky Gervais has some, very strong opinions on it as well. But
yeah.
and yeah, to me, I'm like, all of the horrible, horrible,
Horrible thing.
horrible things that happen in this world
Yeah,
to people that don't deserve them.
yeah,
How can you think there's somebody like,
yeah.
and
I know.
how can you be okay with somebody orchestrating that?
Yeah,
I'm not happy with somebody that's made my mum ill.
no, of course
You
not.
know,
It's just like
that's why I
yeah,
think it's a weird. That's why I
it's a
think it's
weird one. It's a weird
because,
one. That's why
like I say, people are very in or they're very out.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. I think I've always sort of like walked a line of like what I'd rather know. I'd rather see good things happen to good people and not see
yeah.
bad people
If
having to go.
somebody needs it, right? It's
Yeah,
the same as anything. If somebody needs it and it works for them,
yeah.
do
Oh,
whatever you need to do to get through
yeah,
life, because sometimes it is shit.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and like I said at the beginning, as long as nobody uses that to hurt anybody,
yeah. And
believe
obviously,
whatever you want to believe and
yeah,
whatever you need to believe to be okay.
and obviously for centuries and centuries and centuries, religion has been used for a reason to do harmful things to other people. So it's just like it's a weird one. But to each their own. If you believe,
Yeah,
you believe. If you don't, you don't. If you just try to be a good person, that's even better.
yeah, yeah.
So, getting away from that stuff.
Moving along.
Moving along. Let's go on to screenshots.
Oh, yes.
So, screenshots for today, which is going to be posted up on one of our shoulders somewhere on here. last time I pointed to one side and it was like I ended up having to put it on the other side. So I was like, yeah, whatever. So first one was pick a 80s movie. So we've got
Ooh.
so it's 1980 to 1989. So you can only watch 1 year
Okay.
of 80s movies.
And they picked 4 movies per year.
Yeah.
What
So
I'm assuming is what they think is the 4 best for those years.
yeah. So I'll post it up, but we'll just read them out anyway. I'll read them out quickly anyway. So 1980, they had The Empire Strikes Back, The Shining, The Blues Brothers, and Caddyshack.
I know which one
1981,
I'm going for already.
yeah, The Evil Dead, An American Werewolf in London, Mad Max 2, Escape from New York.
Oh, the 5th ones though. There's technically a 5th one because they put a picture
Yeah,
at the bottom.
yeah. The 1982 was 48 Hours, Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte, great film.
Great film.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High, The Thing, and Poltergeist.
Oh.
Yeah. 1983, Trading Places, Eddie Murphy again. Scarface, National Lampoon's Vacation, and Christine. They also put The Outsiders in there. 1984, Terminator, The Never-Ending Story, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Ghostbusters. 1985, Back to the Future, Breakfast Club, Fright Night, Clue, and I think the Goonies came out there as well. 1986 was Aliens, Platoon, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and Top Gun. 1987, Full Metal Jacket, Predator, Raising Arizona, and The Lost Boys. 1988 was Die Hard, Child's Play, Beetlejuice, Coming to America. And 1989 was Major League, Batman, Heathers, and Dead Poet Society, which is a great film.
Oh.
So
I'm not being funny. 89 is pretty flipping good.
89 is strong. 88 is super strong.
86 is brilliant.
85.
87.
84.
This is too hard.
84. Oh my God. Actually, 90,
Flipping out, honestly.
1980. The Blues Brothers was such a, and The Shining. Shining is one of the best movies.
I've still never watched The Shining because I don't like horror movies.
Yeah.
But Empire Strikes Back is in there, which is one of my favorite films of all time. Blues Brothers, and I quite enjoyed Caddyshack. Certainly that first original one.
Yeah.
And Airplane is also in there as the picture. So
Yeah.
I thought 80 was strong. I can leave 81, even though there was Indiana in there, because he comes in other years, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I could leave 82, even though E.T. is a wonderful movie.
Yeah.
I can leave 83, even though Scarface and Trading Places in there.
Yeah.
Now, I was quite happy with 84, Terminator, Never-Ending Story, which I've watched loads, and Ghostbusters, but then they had to throw Freddy Krueger in there. No, Freddy. How dare they make somebody real in your dreams so that he rips your nighty? No.
Yeah.
So that ruined 84 for me.
Yeah.
85, wonderful.
That's a great year.
But I did pick Breakfast Club. Oh, it's the Goonies as well, though. Oh. 86, flawless.
Yeah. Stand By Me as well.
Yeah, that is a flawless selection. 87, mate. Oh, Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
I struggled with. I watched it when I was a bit young, I think.
Yeah.
Much more into like war movies now than I was.
Yeah.
Predator scared me when I was little, but phenomenal. Raising Arizona was good. And then, I mean, Lost Boys, come on. That's one of mine and my sister's faves. And then your little one at the bottom again.
Yeah. See, Predator was just, for me, is just one of the ultimate man's film. And it's like, I just love like the opening scene. I love the actors that are within it. I used to watch those films before I hit the gym. It's one of those films.
I know, but I was so scared when I was little because I was like, oh, he's gonna sense me, and I can't see him. I
Yeah,
can't
I'm not
see him, and
gonna.
he'll know
I
where
don't
I
want to age myself terribly by saying how old I was at the time when that came out.
am.
So I obviously didn't watch that for at least another
Predator
10 years.
Predator didn't kill people that weren't a threat, right? So I would have
No,
been fine.
you would have been
Yeah,
fine. Yeah,
yeah, nice, nice. And actually, in Predator versus Alien, I loved Predator.
yeah,
So, you know, he definitely came back into the fold for me. 88,
yeah,
other than evil Chucky doll, who I used to have nightmares about because I watched that when I was too young as well.
yeah.
That's a good one. Beetlejuice, brilliant. Coming to America, brilliant. Oh, dude, I don't know. Are we
And
are
don't
we
forget,
picking one, or are we just saying that?
89 also has Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which is
Oh
insane to me.
yes. I mean, and Batman's in there. If either of us didn't pick that year, we probably shouldn't
Yeah, I know. That's
say that we love him.
that's what makes it difficult.
Eight,
So
yeah. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna go. Oh, because I could watch all of them,
yeah,
either 86 or 89.
yeah. Ooh. Okay.
Mm.
All right.
Only because on other ones, there's maybe one movie ruining it for me.
Yeah. Oh, this is a tough one for me
It's tough, mate.
because I can see the year I was born is super strong.
Oh yeah. So yes, it is. But there's a ruiner in there for me.
Yeah,
But Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, come on.
I
Me and
know.
my sister used to watch that all the time.
Exactly. Another one of those
It's
films
a
that you
banana
can
in the
watch.
tailpipe.
Yeah. Another film
Oh,
that you be watching
yes.
like in the mid 90s and it'd be on TV. You probably missed the first 15, 20 minutes, but you just end up watching it
Didn't
anyway.
matter. Didn't matter.
I think for me, I would have to go with, unfortunately, 1988. I think if I had to really sit down and watch a bunch of them, like I could sit down and watch Die Hard,
It is fantastic. I
Beetlejuice,
just hate Child's Play.
yeah, I know, Coming to America and The Naked Gun. Like if I had to sit
Yeah, it is a great year.
and actually laugh, I think I'd go with 1988.
Yeah,
But
good.
yeah, so have you picked
What a
one
decade.
out of your two yet?
Yeah, I think, yeah, well, I think I will go, excuse me. Oh, it's so hard. Okay, no, I will go 89.
Okay.
Lost Boys wins
Go for it.
87, but
Yeah,
Batman, Heather's Dead Poet Society, and
yeah.
Bill and Ted. Yeah, there's
Mention
just
it,
a
mention it.
few more in that one from what we've seen. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's movies, but yeah,
plus Bill and Ted.
go
Yeah.
89.
All right. Good stuff. So next up, we're gonna jump a few years forward, and we had pick your
We've gone
top
the next decade.
yeah, the 90s. So it goes 1990 to 1999.
Oh, right before the millennium.
Yeah.
And I
So
thought the
this
world was
one,
going to end.
obviously, I'm a lot older in this one. So we've got 1990. You've got Home Alone, Ghost, House Party, Goodfellas, Edward Scissorhands. 1991, My Girl, New Jack
TFS.
City, Terminator 2, Point Break, Boy in the Hood.
One of my favorite films ever.
Yeah. 1992, you had Juice, Three Ninjas, Batman Returns, Encino Man, good film. White Men Can't Jump. All
Oh
right.
my God, I used to love White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah.
That was literally on my fifth, I think it was my 15th because it was a
Yeah.
15. Yeah, on my 15th birthday, I got bought it as like VHS.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
love that movie.
1993, we got Mrs. Doubtfire, The Sandlot, Free Willy. I remember going to see that actually. Menace to Society and Jurassic Park.
Oh, nice. I went to watch Jurassic Park at the Ritz Cinema
Yeah.
in Gosport with my mum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see Jurassic Park. I think a place called Holloway Road. So not too far from where I live. So yeah, I went and saw that.
Did it have red velvet seats?
They did back in the day, yeah.
Yeah.
When they gave you real popcorn.
Yeah, and there was intermissions.
Yeah. Okay, 94. You got The Crow. Well,
Oh,
you got a new Crow coming out, which I've seen the trailer
mm.
for, and I don't know if it's going to have the same pizzazz.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it,
Yeah,
right? But just why?
I know. Just
Just
that
make
one,
something else.
that could have
Crow
been
was
left well
a
alone.
toy.
Yeah. So you got Ace
Yeah.
Ventura, Street Fighter movie. Kylie Minogue's cameo was fantastic. Above the Rim and
Above
Little
the rim,
Rascals.
above the rim.
Little Rascals. Oh my God. Hey, Alfalfa. 95. You had Friday, the first Bad Boys, which is, oh, I love Bad Boys.
Brilliant. Yeah,
Mortal
brilliant.
Kombat, Jumanji, and Power Rangers the movie.
Do you know what? This is how this honestly, everyone knows I'm a bit weird, but I got really scared after the first Jumanji. Because I
You,
was like,
you thought you were going to get sucked into the game.
can I hear it? Is that the game? I don't do that anymore.
Okay. 1996, you had Scream, Matilda,
Oh,
Space Jam, Independence Day, and Set It Off.
Set It Off. Oh, one of the best song
Oh,
movies
yeah.
ever.
What soundtrack?
Oh,
1997, you had Titanic, Men in Black, Selena, Good Burger, and Face Off.
Face Off. What a film.
Just for the fact that Good Burger's in there, 1997 for me's gone. I could not
Oh,
stand Keenan and Kel whatsoever.
really?
Not at all. I couldn't stand Mr. Orange Soda. I couldn't I couldn't stand them at all. So for me, 97's already off the list.
Oh,
And that feels strong. That sounds strong, but yeah, they grinded my gears. 97's gone. Even though Men in Black's in there.
well, Titanic, Face Off.
And
Face Off was
Face Off
such a good idea. We've never really sort of,
it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
it's a
But
great film.
just the fact that Good Burger's there, it's gone.
God, oh, you are
1998.
97.
1998, Rush Hour, Blade,
Oh,
American X, Small Soldiers, and Belly. Oh my God.
you know what you have to do as well?
Yeah.
You need to get the picture of you up as Blade when we went to Comic-Con.
Okay, I'll put that. I'll put that.
Flash that across the screen.
I'll splash that there. And 1999, Big Daddy, Deep Blue Sea, The Matrix, Blue Streak, and 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, so Matrix and 10 Things I Hate About You, great. I got called out by a mate for not picking Big Daddy and our Adam Sandler movie. I was like, someone else to go at me about that.
Yeah. Well, I picked it, so.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. Again, I think I'm going to go with movies that I've watched the most because then I feel like that's your real favorite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even though, I can't do that though because I have to shout out Men Can't Jump.
Yeah.
I truly love that movie, but I can't do 92 because I'm really not that fussed about anything else.
Well, Batman Returns, Val Kilmer.
Yeah, but it's still Batman Returns, isn't it? Oh, okay. What else would I not want to do without? I mean, Blade and Small Soldiers, brilliant, and I enjoyed Rush Hour, so 88 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I might have to go 91.
Okay, 91.
Yeah.
Like I said, My Girl, New Jack City, Terminator 2, Point Break, and Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Point Break being my absolute favorite out of that list.
Yeah.
Fantastic movie, should never have been remade. I did not watch it out of respect for the original.
Yeah. All right, that's a good year. For me, ones I can't live without, I'm unfortunate. I think 1999 for me, 1998, 1995, 1990. I still remember going with my godmother to watch Home Alone.
Well, Ghost,
Um,
phenomenal because Patrick Swayze's in it. I love him.
yeah, Edward
Edward
Scissorhands was
Scissorhands,
fantastic.
brilliant. Good. Oh, it's such a good year as well.
It's such a shame that Good Burger was in '97. Um, you know what? I think I'm gonna go with 1998 because I remember sneaking into the cinema to watch Blade. Rush Hour was such a good. I remember that coming out. I had such a good time watching that. Small
Yeah,
Soldiers was fantastic, and I really like the film Belly. So I'm gonna go with 1998.
nice. And do you know what the other losery thing about me was? Um, when I watched Blade at the cinema,
Yeah,
this is when I went to Tower Park.
yeah,
Obviously, one of the scenes fairly near the beginning was when the blood comes out of the
yeah.
sprinklers. I swear to God, I had a panic attack. I was literally like, oh my God, what am I watching? Oh my
Yeah,
God, they're dancing in blood. Oh, this is awful. I literally stressed out and then I had to calm down. And then obviously I ended up loving the
yeah.
film, but
When they're playing
I
Operation
really
Blade,
hated that scene when I first watched it.
that was one of the best opening scenes of a film ever.
And now I appreciate that.
Yeah,
But for a while, I was a little bit of a wuss when it came to movies.
yeah. And let's actually give Blade and Wesley Snipes the props he deserves because he's the one who saved Marvel movies.
Yeah.
The money that they made from from Blade was what set up for the MCU to become what it is. So
Ooh, it was brilliant. It
yeah,
was brilliant.
yeah, they brought in so much money from those Blade films, and it saved Marvel from going under.
Gave them a resurgence.
Yeah, so for me, 1998 was the one. All right. So what else is also speaking of vampires, there's well, because he plays a vampire, there's a new film coming out next month called Abigail, which looks insane.
Oh, okay.
Now, I know you're not really into horrors, but
Right.
because it's like a vampire, it involves vampires. I think you might be okay.
Yes, you're right. There's certain horror genres I'm okay with. Yeah.
Yeah, but it does
Because I
remind me of,
genuinely believe vampires are not real and they are not going to come and get me.
yeah, sure, yeah. Hopefully you didn't read
Doesn't
this
mean
up.
that I don't sometimes look behind me if it's a bit eerie and the weather's bad, just
Yeah.
like in Lost Boys when they're walking back towards the car and I'm like, gotta get in the house.
Yeah, so this new film,
Don't do that anymore.
Abigail, definitely check out the trailer and then we'll have a look at that.
Okay.
All right. We were going to do another screenshot, but I think we'll wrap it here and we'll use that screenshot for next one.
Mhm.
All right. So hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Everyone, thanks for
Yes.
joining us. Remember to follow us on all platforms. Uh, this will be posted up on obviously on YouTube, Spotify, and you'll see us follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram. I've been Clinton.
I've been Debbie, and we would like to wish you a very happy Easter.
Yeah.
Whatever you may do in the wind and the rain, may it
Yeah.
be filled with chocolate eggs, time with family, and
Yeah.
just a generally good time.
Yeah. I did talk about quickly rabbit hole. Why they have bunnies as part of Easter was originally because Easter was a time of obviously is spring and new life and stuff like that. So originally humping like bunnies was
Oh,
a thing. So that's why how bunnies became part of the Easter.
I see. I
But
see.
obviously they had to make it child friendly so they could sell chocolate and
Very interesting
yeah,
connection.
but we won't go into that. Okay, everyone, thanks for joining us. Everyone be good. And if you can't be good, be the best at being bad. You take care. Bye.